Welcome back to Ramsay Country. I want to show you this ground blind and tree stand setup we have here. It's a big block of woods. It's where my first YouTube video, it's where I killed that buck at, 160-inch drop time buck. I've had a lot of luck here in the last, I think 7-8 years. Just a big block of timber, but I want to show you how and why we have this set up here. So basically this is a ridge trail. We've got a big hollow on our right and a little side hollow over here to the left. Kind of got 3 points kind of come together right up here above us. Out here behind us, probably 250 yards, there's a huge saddle. So that all the deer kind of cross there and they intersect the top of these ridges. So this path kind of comes down, and there's the ground blind we killed out of last year. Nothing real fancy, just a plastic ground blind. We have a tree stand right here. Got a stand right there. So there's two different places we put corn. If we're hunting out of that stand, we put corn right there. If we're hunting late season, I like to get in that ground blind and we put the corn more to the left, which is where that buck was last year when I shot him. And I'll have a future video of another 160, I think 68-inch buck that I killed here several years ago. But we killed him out of a ground blind, same setup. But basically, the two reasons this works so well, the two main reasons, is this is a really steep hollow. I mean, I don't know how well that shows up, but once you get to the edge of that flat, it drops straight off. This right out here is a big slip, big cove, and it's got a big slip in it. So these deer typically stay below that slip or come above it. So they use this ridge flat. They use the ridge or this first flat. The wind, typically, it's blowing back this way from basically over my shoulder straight up past. So pretty much from where we have the corn blows back through the tree stand. A lot of the deer come from down here or out here in front of us. When we come in, the way that trail is, and the way this little point kind of sticks out here, these deer can't see you. I've got in and out of that ground blind several times with deer in the corn pile and they never leave. So I don't want to call a stand bulletproof, but it's almost as bulletproof as you can get. And all the deer, most of these deer that leave here, if they're going up, there's a pipeline above us. These deer walk up this road. I mean, they walk really close to the stand. I mean, that's where our steps are. But they're always upwind of where you're sitting. Now, when they get up on top, kind of by where that side-by-side's sitting, they might get a little bit of our wind, but most of it is blowing over top of them. And usually by the time they get there, I could have already shot them anyhow. So, but when I walk in here, I don't walk down this trail and down this road. I cut off in the woods back there and I walk down through here like this and then up these steps. So any deer that's walking up this road does not cut my track till they get probably 60 yards back there is where they would cut my track. So that's the couple things that make this stand an awesome setup. I mean, I know a lot of guys just throw a corn pile in the middle of the woods and hope it works, but you can place your corn piles and your sets into good spots where you can use the terrain to get in and out, and you can also use the terrain to try to keep deer from getting downwind of you. We'll go down here, put our corn out, check his camera, and we'll just show you some of the pictures we get off this camera. This is where we put our corn pile. Our stand's up there. I mean, I only move his corn pile, well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I mean, this corn pile, I only move it 10 yards. But when I move it 10 yards, I'm going to hunt out of that ground blind. The buck we killed last year was probably standing about right here when we shot him. But it's just a big ridge, and like I said, there's a big saddle out here 250 yards from us. Once you get below that, I mean, it drops straight off. Just big woods. But, so we'll check our camera, put our corn, put our big tine on top of it. Here's our Reconyx. My opinion, the only camera you should buy. But that's my opinion. I have some Reconyx that are over 10 years old and they still take pictures like they're brand new. So they might not be cheap, but in the long run, if you're going to run cameras for a long time, they'll honestly save you money in battery life and the life of the camera. We'll check his card at home, and if we've got any decent pictures, we'll show you what we've been getting on this camera. I know there's one really nice buck in here. Have several encounters with him last year. He's been on camera for I think 4 years now. So he's definitely on the hit list. But we'll show you the pictures that we got off this card this time. If these two young 10-pointers can make it a few more years, they'll definitely be worth taking another look at. This next doe I've had on camera since 2016. I call her Bob due to her bob tail. This doe was a fawn last year, and somehow she managed to break her front leg. Now it's the size of a softball at the joint, and she's unable to bend it. This is the buck we're back in here looking for. With a little bit of luck and the right setup, hopefully we'll have a chance at him this season. If you notice the timestamp on a lot of these pictures, this buck's coming in here at all hours of the day. That tells me he's not bedding far from this setup. If you have a buck coming into your setups like this, you need to be very careful on your way into and out of your sets. That way, he doesn't know you're hunting him. I usually name every buck that I hunt. As of now, I haven't given this buck a name. So if you have any suggestions, leave it in the comments below. And I would also like to know what everyone thinks this buck will score, if we're lucky enough to kill him. So thanks for watching. We'll catch you next time here in Ramsay Country.